Hey everybody, it is Kit here. Happy Tuesday and welcome back to the Brooks Legacy. It is a Sims 4 Legacy. Should have said that first. Oh well. And we are with Generation 3. Cayson starts us off with the new season. It is now fall, and that doesn't really mean much other than the story continues. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a good week and let's dive right on in. It's now autumn, which means the fall semester of university is here. What this means is Cayson is back to Brightchester and is hard at work. But he's not the only Brooks here. It's Oscar and Blaze's first semester at Foxbury, so naturally Cayson felt it was only right that he come see how they were faring at their new campus. Cayson? Oscar was shocked. Is that you? What are you doing here at the Foxbury Commons? Cayson smiled at his little brother, grabbing him into a hug, which stunned Oscar even more. What do you mean? It's my little brother and cousin's first week at uni. I thought I'd try to spy on y'all from the wild. Check on you, see how you're doing. I've missed you, little bro. Oscar stayed silent for a moment, hugging Cayson back with bear grip. Yeah, I've missed you too. The brothers stayed silent for a moment, taking the other in. You look good, Kay. I like the new look. Oscar broke the silence. Voice polite, positive, but careful, which didn't go unheard by Cayson. Thanks. Felt it was time for an upgrade. Cayson wasn't lying. He was feeling grungy before. He needed to look put together now. Because he is put together. No more mishaps. Cayson had a promise to uphold. How was the internship? Good. Willow Creek was a nice place. Oscar smiled a little bit, but didn't elaborate, leaving another awkward pause. The silence ended when Cayson pulled a trick out of his sleeve, both metaphorically and physically, shocking his little brother with a trick handshake. Anything to escape the awkward conversation and constant side eyes. This promise was going to be harder than Cayson thought. But truly, nothing was wrong. Everything was fine. The promise Cayson had made to himself over the summer was silly, really. It was easy. School was doing just fine. See? He was doing his semester term paper super early. He was even in a great mood, very playful a lot of the time. Cayson's roommates even expected to get silly slapped by him often. At least the baghead townies. Cayson was still great friends with his buds, too. There was more to life than just the smokes and pills. For such a long time, he'd seen Caden as a hookup buddy, almost a means to an end, and that was not the right way to view a friend. Cayson needed to do better. Asking about Caden's villainry classes was a good start. Jeffrey and Cayson often did homework together, where Cayson did struggle. Was his memory faulty? Or was he dozing off in classes? 'Cause what should be easy assignments were difficult, but Cayson did every single one. But things weren't always fine. Cayson struggled with cravings. And he started to think maybe going cold turkey wasn't the way to go because, well, it wasn't working. But Cayson didn't go back to the way things were before. No. Vaping was a lesser evil, see. He'd quit the harder stuff and keep the vaping. Start with one, then quit the other. That was the more manageable way to go about things, you know. So he thought. But Oscar and Blaze weren't the only ones watching Cayson. So was Cayden, because Cayden knew what Cayson was doing in the bathroom in the middle of the night. Out of all of his friends, Ethan was the one who was truly positive about Cayson's changes. He was always encouraging, if albeit a bit naive. But Cayson was making changes. He was doing great. He was talking to his mom weekly again, and she was so happy. Yes, Mom, I'll come home for dinner soon, I promise. Truly, this time I mean it. And Cayson truly did mean it this time. He's been such a bad son. His mom didn't deserve all the worry and disappointment. Cayson needed to do better. Jeffrey didn't really care about his friend's habits one way or the other. He was fairly indifferent, but he did smoke and make his special concoctions away from Cayson where Cayson could be tempted. And for Jeffrey, that was him showing his support. Jeffrey didn't have the same addiction troubles like Cayson did, but he could be a little supportive, he supposed, even if he didn't understand it. Ethan loved seeing this side of Cayson, though. The funny, playful guy who was always so upbeat and hyper. Hey, man, Ethan spoke up one day in the kitchen. I just wanted to say you're doing great. Keep it up, Brooks. Cayson grinned. Thanks, Ethan. That means a lot. And it did. But it didn't quite leave the effect Ethan thought it did. Now, Cayden was having some difficulties quietly because his side biz was struggling. Someone on campus was busting his pill sales, and it was only a matter of time till it came back to him. And what was even worse, a good bit of his stash was missing. Snatched, and not a bit of money given in exchange. Friends didn't do that to friends. Then the first finals hit, and it was bad news bears. F's and D's started pouring in for everyone. Jeffrey was so cooked. He and Cayden were put on probation. But they had tried so hard. Like, Cayden had actually done his projects this time, and on time. And Jeffrey had gone to classes and did homework. Amidst this growing turmoil across campus, it was as if a curse had come to Brightchester. The Harvest Fest gnomes disliked Cayson's offerings so much, they electrocuted him. Both Cayson and the Watcher thought he was a goner. Not again. And after that, crunch time set in for Cayson. He'd failed a final. He had just been electrocuted, cravings were at an all-time high, and somehow Cayson had forgotten about a presentation due the next morning. With the growing panic, anxiety, and exhaustion, Cayson went to their bathroom. It was just a tiny dose, just to get through this project. Or so he told himself. Just like he had said the day before. And a few days before that. There weren't that many pills left. But wasn't this bottle full at the beginning of the week? The next day, it was all done. Finals were turned in for all the guys. And everyone failed. Including Cayson. Ethan was the only one not put on probation, but it was close. And yet, Cayson either didn't care, or he wasn't here. And now Ethan realized why Cayson had been in a good mood this entire time. Yay! We got through finals, Ethan! Yeah. We failed, Cayson. We got through them, though! It was like Cayson didn't hear the results. Or couldn't process the gravity of their situation. Of his situation. Ethan cornered Jeffrey soon after, who was taking something to deal with the bad moodlets from failing. Jeff, is Cayson relapsing? Jeffrey barely glanced at Ethan. To relapse, E, you'd have to stop first. I thought he had. You're a dumb cookie then, bro. Why didn't you help him? None of us can help him until he wants that help. Look how far he went. He's basically ostracized himself from his family, dude. We're more of his family than they are. Shit. What do we do? Don't fail the winter master classes we have to take and hope he gets his shit together? Shit. And that is that. Yay! That would be Cayson's fall semester. Second year, I think. Was it a second year? Yeah, I think it was a second year of university. Mm. It's something, all right. Cayson is trying. He is failing horribly, but he is trying. Whereas the first semester, he wasn't really trying. But, yeah. You know how some people, like, they get really easily addicted to things? And it becomes nearly impossible for them to quit on their own? That's Cayson. His friend group is not the best for that sort of situation. They are his friends, just maybe not the best friends, not the most greatest influences. Ethan does it the least. In fact, he doesn't really do it much anymore. It was kind of more of a young guy recreational thing, but you know, he's more serious now. Caden does it more for money and you know, recreationally, and Jeffrey probably does it um well less than Cayson, but it doesn't affect him. Like he can kind of just stop, and yeah, he'll have cravings and things, but he never went as far as long as hard as Cayson did. Um, so for him, he just doesn't really see how it's such a big deal for Cayson, but it's just like, well, made your bed. What can you do? Yeah. It's a situation, but at least Cayson was trying this time in various areas. Unfortunately, about this time, this is when the mod apocalypse hit, and I don't know what mod made everybody, everybody, with the exception of Ethan and Oscar, to fail university. That was exceptionally annoying. That was really annoying, actually. So we've gotten to that point, but I fixed it for the spring semester, thankfully, which was great. But yeah, so most everybody pretty much got put on probation. Cayson's been kinda sorta inching towards probation, but now he is officially on probation. And it was kind of one of those things of like, he got the email, he looked at it, he just kind of went, whatever. Do better next time. But But anyways, yeah, so that is Cayson's fall semester. Tomorrow we will be visiting Oscar and seeing how he's doing over in Foxbury, and the next week we'll be with Blaze. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I apologize if the content was triggering. Yeah. I'm going to go to bed now because it's stupid late, but I told myself I had to get it up, and therefore it's going to be it. But again, thank you all so very much for watching. I do hope you got some enjoyment out of it. And don't forget, where the water's slow, legacies grow. Bye!